Ouch, 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 ouch. Hello everybody and welcome to the new episode. We are in one of my favorite spots here in the New Guernica. This is the Clam. And today we're going to dive in the history of Stockholm Syndrome. How are you?
Not bad, man. How are you? Finally.
All good, finally.
A year and we are here.
Thank you for being here, for open your heart and share your history. So we want to know, do you remember when you decided to become a DJ?
Yes, I vividly remember because I hated dance music. Like I was, as a kid in the 90s, I was not a fan of electronic music. I was a little skater metalhead. I liked punk, I liked heavy metal, I liked hip hop. And the dance music at that time I was exposed to was like very surface level commercial stuff, like hard house and trance, like the Tidy Boys, stuff like this. Global Underground, Sasha Digweed, Tony DeVite. It just didn't resonate with me. I didn't understand it. As a drummer and a guitarist, I didn't really get, as a drummer and guitarist and sort of band person, I didn't really get the instrument of the turntables or the DJ. Now I understood that in the form of hip hop, like I loved hip hop and I could translate that. So I did initially get my turntables to do hip hop scratching. And then eventually my friends were like, okay, this is techno. These two records are the same. Until you can keep these in time, don't ever play as a fucking tape again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, those early days would have been torture for anyone that was around me. Like, trying to scratch and not being able to beat match. But then what happened from there was my friends that had been into the sort of surface level dance music while we were at school, as we were leaving school, they started to discover the deeper layers. So they discovered like Detroit techno. They discovered people like Warren Garney, Jeff Mills, Dave Clark. I remember, 17. They were like, dude, you've got to see this black guy from Detroit, Claude Young. Like he's literally playing techno, but in the form of a hip hop turntablist. You've got to, so like they smuggled me into the club. It was packed. You know, this would have been like 98, 99 or something. And here's this massive black guy from Detroit just going for it, like scratching with his elbows, like but like banging techno. And then like Jeff Mills' Liquid Room CD came out. So again, that was given to me. It was like, check this out. Like, you know, you say you don't understand dance music, but look at how this artist, he takes the records to make something new. And when you look at it, he's like mixing, you know, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 2 minutes, chopping around. He's like, and it was like this epiphany of like, so proper underground techno and dance music it's up to the DJ to take this fixed parameter, which is the record. Like techno is boring because it is a fixed parameter, and it's for the DJ to take the fixed parameter and to create something new with that by using increments of it in a way that delivers it to the audience unexpectedly. You know, like even when you've been to the gig and you go and buy the records and you when you could find the records the DJs had played, it didn't sound like that because they were so layered and cut. That it's like, oh fuck, it did this in the club. It's like, oh yeah, that's this record as well. So then you had to learn how to put that mix together. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then that was it. I became hooked with it, you know. And then like other things happened. I discovered we had a lot of the Electroclash stuff, and that led me to discovering like Front 242 and Nissa Reb. And a lot of the earlier Kraftwerk bands like this, which were they were like a synthesizer version of a lot of the metal that I was into, like very militant, very punk, very aggressive, very fuck the establishment kind of vibe, you know? And then I became somewhere in the middle of this.
Nice, really good. Yeah, but it's part of this journey actually down the electronic music in that time was actually that the same, very rough, you know, like a very political thing as well. Like fighting against the system.
Well, it's dance music. The the majority of dance music and electronic music started as a resistance against the system.
Yeah.
It started in black communities and it started in gay clubs and marginalized communities as a way for people on the outskirts to escape the oppression of the existing system.
Yeah, the Migration
which
Act,
focuses on,
of course.
you know, the normies to some extent.
Yeah.
And we fucking lost that. Like, people don't realize this music comes from marginalized black communities, from trans, from gay. This is where it began.
Latin Americans as well,
yeah, globally.
About
like,
migration as well. That's what's very well. In that time, actually, we going back actually, kind sadly, you know, that time because the migration, everything now is very tough. But when this thing happen in the world, you know, always the resistance, you know, become again.
will come again.
I don't know what's going on with this. Like,
well, I just read recently, like, He Who Shan't Be Named over in America has started to delete Drexcia, a group from Detroit, and label it as terrorist music and stuff. Like, it's the modern equivalent of burning books, mate, I'm telling you. So,
it's a rough time for make art, but it's good, you know, like
good art comes from bad times.
the resistance is here. The resistance is here.
The summer of love in the 80s into the 90s was resistance to Margaret Thatcher, man. Like, that's why we raved, to put two fingers up at her. So, you know, what comes out of these tough times in terms of art is always
Good.
yeah. It's always a reaction.
Yeah, in the same way, how do you decide make a tilt shift?
I've always run events, like, you know, I've always done my own thing. Started another brand, 2 brands before Tilt Shift, but then they kind of fizzled out, some of the crew kind of left. And 2017 Tilt Shift was born, and it was born in the kind of standard formula of, like, we're going to do parties in different venues in the city, we're going to tour some internationals. So from 2017 up until the pandemic, we would do a lot of Boney, a lot of Revolver, Section 8, Dr. Morse. We toured a whole load of people like Curses, Marvin and Guy, Tronic Youth, Hacker, stuff like this. And then after the pandemic, I started again basically with that.
Yeah.
But
He's surviving with the
yeah, I don't know, like after the pandemic, just a few things clicked into place. I wanted the project to be not so much about the club and the party. I wanted it to be more 100% music focused. And I wanted the art decision of the project to be based on the music and the experience and platforming people that maybe often don't get a chance or get overlooked. You know, Melbourne's full of amazing producers who've released on the biggest labels in the world and they've been doing it for years, but sometimes they maybe don't get the stages they deserve. And also after the pandemic, I noticed I was making a lot of booking decisions based on what would sell tickets and what would make the room busy, but it maybe wasn't the best for the music.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pivot into something that put music at the center with no pressure, and by focusing on the music and the artistry being really good, that would build the community. So yeah, I approached these guys and we've been in the little attic every Tuesday with 5 different artists every week for 2 years.
2 years is a lot of work, you know. And
520 in the archive.
So if you want to see all of them, you can visit you have the website as well as the YouTube channel.
So there's a YouTube channel, but you just go to the website, tiltshiftmelbourne.com, and that'll give you links to YouTube, to SoundCloud, merch store, upcoming events, and what else there? It gives you your Instagram. Yeah, the website's at the hub, tiltshiftmelbourne.com.
You know everybody.
You can put that up. As I do that.
What do you think about the Melbourne scene? The music
I think it's
scene.
great. I love it.
Yeah,
joking. No. Look, Melbourne has a really vibrant scene. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but I do have frustrations with it. I think sometimes the choices that are made aren't often musically based. I think sometimes it focuses more on like who you know rather than what you know. I mean, there's always an element of that in everything, but it'd be good to see, like, the diversity in the scene is brilliant, but at the same time, I personally feel there's a lot of good artists that sometimes get sidelined maybe because they're not in the right circle, or they're maybe not going to sell enough tickets or stuff
Yeah.
like that. But musically and technically as an artist, they're like brilliant, you know? So I think it should be, I would love to see a little bit more balance brought into the scene, where it's like, you know, newer DJs with some of older established DJs. I mean, it's very hard because I don't think it's a symptom of the Melbourne scene. I think it is a symptom of society as a whole. We've entered this social media, ultra hype, look at me phase, which has changed everything. And everyone's on about it. You know, it's a talking point everywhere. Like, so the scene, I love it to bits, and there's great opportunity out there. But it'd be sometimes nice to take a step back and look at it subjectively and say, okay, wait a minute, right? How could we do this differently? You know, maybe we could help nurture the young team by starting open decks nights on a quieter night of the week, and giving them that experience and allowing them time to grow as an artist before we put them on stage.
Yeah.
And then if we've got some big crazy party with 2,000 people, rather than it being a list of like everybody doing back to back and they've only been DJing 2 to 3 years, maybe we could have some of that, but you could incorporate some of the older crew, the people that have been time served, you know, that have released on some of the world's biggest labels, and have a balance of it all, you know what I mean? So is it for the audience, they get the best listening experience. Because sometimes I feel that the audience maybe suffers a bit because of this, you know. But that's my opinion, you know, I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, but this is part of the,
you know, the scene's great, it's very vibrant, and like, you know, there are opportunities there. But sometimes looking at it through other lenses, when you take a step back, it's like, well, wait a minute, man, like, why are there like 19 DJs doing back to back? Do you know what I mean?
So, yeah.
50% of them have only been DJing a year. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? Do you know what I mean? Cool. Does that maybe sells a lot of tickets, but is that the best musical experience for people in the room? I don't know. Like, I'm older. Maybe that is what appeals to young kids now. Don't know.
We will see. I don't know. We did go out. We did go to the parties and see everything what's going on.
Wow.
All right. Thank you very much for this interview, for being here in this wonderful clam. So this is, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm not going to say nothing. So just.
It's not the final, but for now, you're moving on to some different stuff. I'm focusing on some different stuff. We've got a little project that will appear around Christmas that we'll speak about later.
Yes.
But yeah, this is the last one for a wee while, I think.
Thanks so much, buddy.
Yeah, man, thank you. Thanks for being part of it.
Thanks for all the people to see and comment and share all these kind of things, for support all these projects. And see you in the next time.
Hey.
See you later.